I am purposely going to hold that presentation. I'm going to hold on that presentation. And I almost feel a little bit led to share from a personal experience. So then I'm going to tell you my story, which began 20 years ago as a student. And I say a student because that is exactly what I was when I was thrust into a classroom to handle 20 odd children without any experience. I walked into the classroom, I was told, these are your children, this is your chalk, that's your board, teach. 20 years ago. As a result of doing that, I did what was the norm. I defaulted to what I saw every day, and when I say every day, I mean every day modeled before me. So I picked up the posture. The first thing that I ensured never happened in my class was that there was absolutely no room for opinions that differed from mine. In addition to that, I ensured that I was the martial law in class. What I say had to be done. Whatever I instructed you to do, you better do it. And I had a friend. I actually gave the friend a name. I had a friend and I gave the friend a name. So the name was volunteered by the children. So Sarah Jane was my friend. And Sarah Jane kept things in order, or so I thought. Sarah Jane did the job. So what I did is that every day I would not, I could forget chalk because I could borrow from someone, but I dare not forget Sarah Jane. Because if I forget Sarah Jane, you know what's going to happen in my class. I'm going to lose control. Pretty much said I was a beater. I did not administer corporal punishment. That sounds so nice. I flogged. I beat the children. That is what I did on a daily basis, because that was the way to get them to do what I wanted done in that class and to ensure that it was done a certain way and at no point in time were these children supposed to defect in any way. So I did what I had to do. Interestingly, very recently as November and then again yesterday, I had two persons who came to me. Well, one did not come to me. One used Facebook. When you can't come to someone, you use Facebook. Then never forget that. So I had a discussion amongst the teachers about the fact that we really needed to monitor the discipline in our classrooms. And I made this statement. Who told me to make this statement? I made the statement, if you have an indisciplined class, the first person I'm checking the discipline on is you, the teacher. Because it probably means that your classroom management skills are not where they're supposed to be, because I have all the support mechanisms in place in your classroom. If you walk through our school, you can hear a pin drop. And no one is standing over the class with a paddle. No one is getting ready to beat the stuffings out of any child. But you can hear a pin drop. So I said that. And after I said that, the person retreated to Facebook. And this is a teacher who writes a monologue and gets a whole set of support about Christian schools not believing in corporal punishment. And this is what the word says, and a long discourse took place. You know, it had to get a lot of likes and a lot of comments and everything else to go along with it. So I watched that very, very, very attentively. This is the reality, however. As much as the person was venting, they could not hit any of the children when the day was finished. Bottom line. Yesterday, a parent comes to me as I'm about to get out of the vehicle, and the parent walks up nicely to me and he says, "Mr. Burke, you have a minute?" So I said, "Yes, I do have a minute." Shoot. I didn't even get out of the vehicle. He said, I know, but the school's policy is on corporal punishment and lashing. I understand. I know what y'all have been saying. And I was speaking to the teacher too, and the teacher said, well, they are not supposed to touch them. And I understand that. But I could give my teacher permission to give my son some lashes when he needs them. We spoke about culture. And it is something that needs to somehow guide us in this discussion. There is a culture out there that really and truly will not be broken. I'm going to say this to you, not even through a panel discussion. Because as I look in the room, I see persons who I somehow suspect may have probably a more measured approach to this. You are not the ones that I see on Facebook beating a child with a stick. You're not the ones. Yesterday I saw one where the mother shaved the boy's whole head and said, I'm going to get you. You're embarrassing me. I'm going to show you now. You are not the ones that I see. It is interesting that Sowickham spoke about the class. And if we are aware in our population, I don't know the statistics on it, but I tend to believe one government has been blamed for eradicating the middle class. So I don't know if we have too many middle class now. So it very well may be that we have more lower class than anything else. Therefore, we have a great challenge on our hands. So today I came not to share with you, and I do have a presentation of all the very good things that we can look at. Probably I'll get an opportunity to ask the tech guy to do that. But I'm stirring your mind on this. It is a cultural thing. It is something that is happening. It is something that I learned by default as a young teacher 20 years ago. No, I wasn't teaching at 5 years old. But 20 years ago, I walked into a classroom, and this is what I knew to be the way to get it done. I got converted. I changed my way of looking at it. I started to talk a lot more. But here I am dealing with teachers, especially those who are now coming into the system, who are extremely frustrated, who are wondering, what can I do next? I hear all the things you're talking about, but what can I do? How many more rewards can we find? I'm tired of this reward thing. We need to deal with these children who are behaving badly. I don't know what else. And that is the frustration that is vented on a daily basis by some, who you see, unfortunately, imploding, while the others who are doing the positive behavior practices and making sure that they're in the classroom, you see them walking around smiling and enjoying school. And the others are pulling their hair out, waiting for the day that I somehow revert the law and they can beat the children again. That is my experience. We are talking about the experience from not only the doctrinal perspective, but from the school. I have a doctrinal perspective on it, but I'm sharing to you my experience at school. In a school where we got to the place where everyone had a Sarah Jane. Everyone walked around with a Sarah Jane. So when I became principal, I took away the Sarah Janes. Amnesty, bring them all in. Put them all on the desk. At that point in time, I did not want to shock anyone's system, so I said, no problem, this is what we're going to do. Only the heads of department, there were four heads of department, only those ones will have the opportunity. Heads of department, after a while, I had a meeting with the board. It was decided we're going to withdraw even from the heads of department. Heads of department, obviously they felt a little uneasy, so it's now all the powers are in the hands of the principal, who said in November that I have not lashed a child for the term and I'm feeling great. And who told the principal to say so? From the time he said so, there was an answer. Because I'm saying to you, it is not the experience of everyone to walk into an environment like this and be shocked in the culture. So therefore, we have to look at it from a cultural perspective. And that is where I would want to leave my opening remarks.